Hello everybody, this is Vault L96A1, and we got a free-for-all on Summit, and this is gonna be my, George Carlin influence thing, where I point out stuff wrong with the English language and whatnot, because you like to do that. But first I'm gonna go shut my door so the people in my house don't think I'm weird.
Spy plane standing by.
So,
Friendly spy plane inbound.
yeah, the one thing, people always say that they're driving a new car, but really, if you drive a new car, you can't drive a new car, first of all. It's impossible to drive a new car. A new car, or anything new, is something that hasn't been used. As soon as you drive it, it's used. So, they bring it home, then a week later their friends come over to the house and say, hey, look at my new car. It's not new. Don't be like, wow, just say, oh no, dude, that's not a new car, it's used. It was like, no, it's new, I just bought it last week. Did you use it at all? Yeah. Well then it's used, it's not new. And also, this week in my school, I don't have to take them, but the middle school is taking them right now, and the juniors in high school, they're taking the state tests. I don't know how many of you are in high school or you take the state tests, but you know those pages in there that always say, this page is intentionally left blank? It's not blank. There are words on it. If you wanted to leave it blank, just leave it blank. What do you think we're gonna do? Do they think we're going to draw or color all over it? We see that if the page is blank, we can see that the page is blank. They don't need to tell us if this page is intentionally left blank. And since they wrote that, it is not blank anymore. You know, if you write something on a page, it's not blank. Another thing, you see these on commercials, I don't know if they really said it this way or not, but you see, like, the little person who's, like, it was a few years ago back, they're, like, it was promoting Jif peanut butter. I'm not sure if that's, like, a countrywide brand, nationwide. Oh, I just said countrywide, I don't know what I'm doing. Nationwide brand of peanut butter or not, but they're, like, splitting a sandwich to, like, this little girl and her little brother. And she's just like, oh, I want the bigger half. And the little boy's like, no, I want the bigger half. And then he's like, oh, okay, you can have it. Because he, like, had a revelation in his mind or something to decide to be nice. But yeah, there is no bigger half. There is no such thing as a bigger half. Bigger half is 50%. A half, I'm sorry, a bigger half is not 50%. A half is a 50%. 1 over 2 equals 50%. 50% equals a half. And if a half is bigger than the other, then it's not a half. Say it's like 60% and 40. The 60% piece is not a bigger half. It's not a half at all. There is no such thing as a bigger half. If they're both halves, then neither one of them is bigger. And if one is bigger, then they're not halves. Also, another thing that I got is, like, catching colds. How do you catch a cold? There are two things wrong with cold, first of all. You can't catch a cold. Well, you can catch a cold because people say you catch a cold, but how? You don't throw a cold. Like in baseball, you never see the pitcher throw a cold. You see the pitcher, oh, batter up, okay, I threw a cold at you. Ah, you sneezed, haha, you caught a cold. Oh, what now? Well, hopefully the batter isn't catching anything, but the catcher is catching. That's why they call it catcher. That's really creative. And also, another cold thing is, how come they say you're catching a cold whenever you're hot? Your temperature is hotter than normal, and yet they call it a cold. That doesn't make sense. And another real fun one is the Great Depression. I'm really sure no depression has ever been great. Have you ever been in a Great Depression? I mean, if I was in a depression, I wouldn't really call that experience great if I were them. And the last thing is a young adult. I mean, adults are old, and your parents want to make you feel older. You're not a teenager, you're not a child, you're a young adult. Makes you feel official. But anyway, 30 and 5, I hope you enjoyed it. This is Revolt L96 saying goodbye.